We're going to start with a centroid. Centroid is formed by a certain kind of line. This is review. This will be on your test next Wednesday. Your next quiz is next Monday. All right? They're the last two of the semester. This is important. So a centroid. What is a centroid formed by? It's a specific kind of line. A median. An incenter is a different kind of center. So a median forms because it goes from the vertex to the midpoint of the other side. There is a special relationship between medians and what did you figure out what it was? It's the 2/3 and the 1/3. So we're given SQ. Does SQ look like the 2/3, the 1/3, or the whole line? The 2/3, which makes QW the 1/3. So the 2/3 is double the 1/3. Usually we have the 1/3 and we multiply it times 2 to get the 2/3, except for this time we won't multiply by 2. What will we do? Divide by 2. So then the 1/3 will be 4 in this picture. Okay? So 8 and 4. What will the length of the whole line be? 12. So QW is 4. That's what it asked me in the top right corner. And then it says SW is 12. We're going to practice what we learned yesterday with medians. All right? So, reading the directions, where A, B, and C are the midpoints of the sides. Why is this important information to us? Does it say that we have mid-segments, or we're supposed to know that? We're supposed to know that because what do mid-segments do? They connect the midpoints. So mid-segment, mid-segment, mid-segment. So what's going to happen is mid-segments are half of the line that it is parallel to. So let's start with AB, which is the first in the problem, if you look. AB is 16. What line, give me the letters, of the line that is parallel to AB? QS. So that means QS is going to be double, which is 32. So the answer to the first is 32. The second, what letters did it give me? SR, which is right here. This is not a median. Medians connect midpoints. This is the outside of the triangle. All right, so SR and CA. CA is the median. So SR is 68. That means the median is going to be half of this. What is half? 34. All right, the next one, what letters did it give me? SR. Again. Oh, SR. And then it asked for BR. So this is the side of the triangle. It's not a mid-segment. Mid-segment connect two midpoints. There's only one midpoint on this line. All right, so what do you know about midpoints?
They're in the middle.
They're in the middle. So if the whole line of SR, what does it tell me the length is? 46. Denver, stop jumping ahead, please. The whole line is 46. So BR is from the midpoint over, so it's half of it. Half of 46 is 23. All right, the next one, what letters did it give me? CA. And then it gave me SR again. So before, when we had this was simpler. The difference now is there's algebra to it. CA is 3x minus 1. And then SR is 5x plus 4. Do these lines look like they equal each other? No, they don't. But you know that the midpoint times the mid-segment times what is going to equal that outer? Times 2. So you know that 2 times 3x minus 1 is going to equal 5x plus 4. Can I do this kind of statement?
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, you can. You should do this. This is what was on your homework yesterday. So what do we do next?
Distribute.
Distribute.
6x.
Minus 2 equals 5x plus 4. Then what would I do next?
Take 5.
Subtract 5x. Always move the smallest. I'm getting there. X minus 2 equals 4. Add 2, and x equals 6. Probably a lot of you would stop here. But what did it ask for? You gotta plug it in, but where?
For the egg.
For CA. So 3 times 6 minus 1. 3 times 6 is 18 minus 1 is 17. Is there a way I could have checked that?
Yeah.
I could plug it in the other. 5 times 6 plus 4. What's 5 times 6? 30 plus 4 is 34, which is the whole line, that outer line. Divide by 2 is 17. So boom, we got it correct. We won't go any further from here because it's just doing the same thing over and over again. All right. So these were mid-segments. Mid-segments connect midpoints. That was it. As long as you can divide by 2, multiply by 2, you're going to be hunky-dory. So today we're going to do 6.6. Open your student journals, page 191, I think. Just open there and get started. So a lot of students in my last class struggled with greater than and less than. Hopefully that won't be the thing here. We'll review it in like 2 seconds, okay? So you're going to learn how to compare measures in a triangle, and then you're going to learn real life examples, okay? And then, yep, page 191. You're going to learn the hinge theorem, okay? I'll explain why it's called the hinge theorem. There's a picture in your textbook you'll see of a gate. And a gate somehow made a triangle. And what happens is, in the hinge theorem, if 2 sides of one triangle are congruent to 2 sides of the other, and you'll see that they are marked with these dashes. And the included angle of the first is larger than the included angle of the second. Then the third side of the first triangle is longer than the third side of the second triangle. What that means, every angle corresponds with a side, and it's the side directly across from it. Every side corresponds with the angle directly across from it. So what happens is, and you'll learn it in this section, all right, you have the measure of 100 and 800, or 800. 180. Which of these numbers is bigger? 100, which means the side directly across from it is longer than the side directly across from 80. All you do is you look at those angles, because the angles correspond to the sides. The bigger angle corresponds with the biggest side, and then the smaller angle corresponds with the smaller side. Okay? The same thing is going to happen in the converse theorem. Except for instead it gives you sides, and then you're going to have to make a statement about the angles directly across from them. But it's the same idea. If you have 2 sides of one triangle that are congruent to 2 sides of the other, the third side of the first is longer than the third side of the second, then the included angle of the first is larger than the included angle of the second. So let's put a picture to that, because it sounds like mumbo jumbo and a lot of you just stopped listening. So, looking at the triangles it gave you in the example, which of these sides is bigger, BC or EF? BC is larger. What angle is across from BC? Angle A. So that means angle A is going to be larger, or greater than, if you look right here, greater than angle D. Okay, so here we looked at 8 is bigger than 7, so that means angle A is bigger than angle D. That is all you were doing. This will trickle over into the next chapter when we get there in January. Okay? So, this is to review greater than and less than for like 2 seconds. A lot of you don't remember this, but think of this symbol as like you can say an alligator, any animal of your choice with sharp teeth, don't care. It always wants to eat the larger number, so if you think that the left side is larger than the right side, then open the mouth towards the left side. If you think the right side is larger than the left side, then open the mouth towards the right side. Confusing? Look. Which of these numbers is bigger? 5. Anna Grace. Which of these numbers is bigger? 5. So the mouth or the animal wants to eat the bigger number. If it's the opposite, Which of these numbers is bigger? 5 still. So the mouth wants to eat
What if we drew
the bigger number.
please?
You know, your creative liberty is up to you.
You get some bonus points.
Nope.
Why don't you get the regular points, and then we'll talk about bonus points. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to practice this. Using the hinge theorem, given that ST is congruent to PR, so you see these tick marks, this side's congruent to this side. How does the measure of PST, when we're looking at 3 letters of an angle, which letter are we talking about? The vertex, which is the middle letter. So we're comparing the angle I've marked, S. We're comparing it to SPR. So the P, the middle letter. So what side is directly across from the orange one? 24. And then from the blue is 23. So which number is larger, 24 or 23? 24. So that means the orange angle is larger than the blue angle. So you would write that. So you would say the measure of PST. We said it's larger. So you open up the mouth towards that. Write the teeth if you want, I don't care. Is greater than the measure of angle SPR. That's all you're doing in this section. Your answer will either be greater than, less than, or even equal to on some of them. We're going to do the opposite, and then we're going to start in your student journal. Given that JK is congruent to LK, how does JM compare to LM? Okay, so this time, are we talking about angles or sides? Sides. We're comparing JM to LM. What angle is across from JM? K, yeah, 64, number would be good. 64, and what number is across from ML? 61. So when we're comparing JM to LM, all right, JM is the larger, has a larger angle across from it, so it's going to be the larger angle. So that means JM is greater than LM. Questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Turn the page. 192.
You said turn the page.
Yeah, you want to bring attention to the fact that you didn't bring what you needed to class?
No, see, I did.
0.
I just can't. I just lost it.
It's a lot of blank pages. Okay, number 1, we're comparing sides. We're comparing BC to EF. So BC is across from 35 degrees, and EF is across from 45. So BC is 35 greater than, less than, or equal to? Less than. So you should have it open towards the bigger number, which would be EF. You don't have to draw teeth. It is what it is. The next one, we're comparing BC to EF again. BC, I mean, if you can't just look at this. BC is across from 95 degrees, which makes it a longer side. So we're going to say greater than. Yes, 95 is an obtuse angle.
Greater than.
Because BC is across from 95 degrees, and EF is across from 20, 95 is greater than 20, so BC greater than EF. Number 3, we're comparing BC and EF again. What is BC across from? A right angle, which is 90. So 90 and 90 are the same angle, so it's going to be an equal sign. Number 4, we have something a little different. Angle A and angle D. Angle A is across from the side with how many tick marks? 3. 1, 2, 3. Angle D is across from the side from how many tick marks?
3.
1, 2, 3. So what does that mean about the sides?
They're already equal.
They're equal. They're congruent to each other. So what does that mean about?
A and D are equal.
They're equal. All right, you guys are doing 5 and 6 on your classwork paper. Do not do it on your student journal. You know, I keep finding these shreds of paper, and I'm not happy about it. Yeah, you laugh. Acting like you're 4 years old. They know what they get when they get me. Make sure you write the whole statement. The measure of angle A, blank, measure of angle D. That is so that you can't misplace your problems on your work. I like it.
Is that what you mean by like write it all out?
Wait, is that
Yeah.
right? Was that right?
I didn't check your answer. I just looked at the teeth on your greater than, less than.
Yeah.
We are moving on.
Oh yeah, you did.
Number 7 looks like the weirdest thing in the world. Comparing AB to AC. It does look like a paper plane. AB is across from what angle? 145, angle D. Alright. The other one is across from the measure of angle?
D.
135. So, 145 and 135. We're comparing AB to AC. 145 is
Way bigger.
way bigger, not way bigger, it's 10 degrees.
Way
It's
bigger.
greater than. And then you are doing 8 and 9. On your classwork paper, make sure you write the statement as well. AB blank CD. So you're doing it on your classwork paper. So like these and these should be on here. You do you. Take out a red pen.
Is that right?
I'm not checking the answers at this second, buddy. Does anybody need more time? Switch papers.
I feel like number 8 wrong.
You'll be okay.
Yeah.
So you should have, I'm sorry, every time I open my mouth, one of you do. You should have 8 problems, 4 from your bell ringer, 4 from class, so 8 total. There are 3 points apiece, 10 if they skip. 3 points apiece, 10 if they skip. The bell ringer, 24-12, 27-18. 24-12, 27-18. 24-12, 27-18.
That's what I'm saying.
I did not put it on my glass list. Y'all just flip through this paper. Why you don't just start at the beginning of the bottom?
I don't know. Next. Here are the 4 that were in your student journal. Angle A is across from 14. And angle D is across from 16, so 14 is less than. Number 6, angle A is across from 9. Angle D is across from 2. 9 is greater than 2, so angle A is greater than angle D. Number 8. You can figure it out at the end. Angle 8. What do those curve marks mean in geometry? Congruent. So that means the sides across from them are equal to each other. Number 9. Angle 1 is across from the number 19. Angle 2 is across from the side of 17. 19 is greater than 17. So angle 1 is greater than angle 2. Again, there are 3 points apiece, 10 if they skip. Once you have finished, put a grade at the top. Pass them forward.
I didn't even do all the bell renders. I only did 3 of them. And I like still. I just write it on.
I'm still.
I got 57, but you see, I got 57.
Keep yours.
Okay.
Pass them up. Take out your textbook, page 347. You won't if you do in class. 347, let's go. Textbook. That's the big thick one. Do you have your textbook either? Alright, go ahead and write 30 times beyond time on task and prepare to learn every day. Don't know how you come to geometry class with nothing.
What page are you on?
347, sorry. 347. You're going to do 1 through 10, 13 through 15, and 25 through 28. You have 20-some minutes left in class.
Bless you, bro. You gotta sharpen it. Do those work?